Hey, good morning there. It's Dr. Gary from Chiropractic USA. It's Thursday morning. I hope your day is off to a great start. Listen, last night I watched a show called Penn and Teller Fool Us. You guys have probably seen that before. Some pretty interesting magic acts on there. And Penn and Teller's job is to try to figure out what the magicians are doing, what the sleight of hand is. Now, I love magic, and I don't do it myself. However, I really like to watch a good performance like that. The distractions, the illusions, the sleight of hand, the things that are being done right before our eyes that we don't really pick up on and don't catch, unless you're astute to it. So that sleight of hand, pretty fascinating information. It got me thinking. You know, I after watching that show, I had read something last night, and looks like my monitor's not going to cooperate here. I read something last night on a colleague of mine who had posted some information, an article, piece of information coming out of New Zealand. And out of New Zealand, excuse me for 1 second. All right. So out of New Zealand, there's proposals that are being made that they could potentially be in lockdown till January of 2021. And I was like, whoa. And it really kind of got me a bit angry, right? I've been talking about that recently, about rage, anger, irritation, leading to inspiration, birthing solutions. Well, last night I was getting a little angry and irritated reading this article about that potential lockdown to 2021 in New Zealand. Now, I don't know if that's happening or not, but I believe there it was proposed. Now, I'm watching what's happening in our country. In our state yesterday, Florida just got kind of shut down for 30 days. Social distancing, we're applying all of the features, all the measures that we need to try to curb the spread of this disease. I think everybody's trying to do their part for the most part and really doing a good job of that. But that got me thinking. It brought back a lot of things that I've been reading and researching. Like many of you, I've been doing a lot of research on the origins of this and what's going on. And a couple things I want to bring up here too. To begin our talk today is, I mentioned sleight of hand, the distraction, the setup, so that we're looking one place, something else is going on. Most of you at this point probably have seen, or have watched, or have read Bill Gates from 2015, his TED Talk that he had given on pandemics, on disease, and he used an example of a virus spreading across the globe as a pandemic, and really pretty much outlined the situation that we're facing right now, almost down to the detail. I find that very interesting. He's a huge proponent of mandatory vaccinations across the globe, and I believe there's another agenda that's behind this. Dr. Fauci, who stands at the right hand of the president, he's on his team of medical expert advisors to handle this pandemic right now. Dr. Fauci is also on one of Bill Gates' boards for health advisor, for global health advisors. And I think there's some things that are questionable in their relationship. The head of the World Health Organization came out yesterday praising China for its response and handling of this Wuhan virus, this coronavirus, this COVID-19 virus, praising China for their handling of it. When we know China was not giving us proper information, they weren't releasing proper statistics, and had they done that earlier, we probably could have gotten ahead of this. Everybody probably could have handled and addressed this much better than what we are. So the New Zealand thing last night really put me over the edge about a potential lockdown until 2021. Are we going to follow? Are we going to be willing to capitulate and give up all of our civil liberties to make this happen? I believe that there's a greater picture, a bigger agenda. While we're all focused on the death, the disease, the stories that are coming out of the hospitals, I believe there are power plays and things that are going on behind the scenes. More and more is just pointing to that. So I mentioned to you about the sleight of hand, the magic tricks, the distractions that go on. One of the things that you may or may not be aware of, and you can't see this really well over my shoulder, but I'll post it for you, but these are US patents for certain viruses. So the CDC and the US government will patent viruses so that they can study them further. They study different strains. They can, maybe develop vaccines from them. The bottom of this list here, right down here, is Coronavirus, U.S. patent 101300701. So coronavirus has been patented by the U.S. government. Now, next piece of information that I have up here is a piece from the PubMed, and it's a very well-respected research site, a lot of great research articles around there. I'm going to also post this link on here, but the bottom line here in this article, rhinovirus, Coxsackie, ecovirus, coronavirus, human metapneumovirus, parainfluenza, respiratory syncytial virus, okay? The trivalent inactivated flu vaccines. When you receive those, you have a much greater chance of receiving any other acute respiratory illness, an ARI it's termed as. Now, what I find interesting, I mentioned in one of the talks the other day, Italy in September of 2019 released an adjuvanted trivalent inactivated vaccine. So they released a new vaccine in Italy in September of this year. New chemicals. It's cultured in a different way on animal tissue versus chicken embryos, and lo and behold, Italy has the worst, or had the worst until recently with New York, numbers of cases of COVID-19 coronavirus and deaths resulting. Is there a coincidence to that? I don't think so, based on what we're reading. I'll post the source of that so you can check it out. Next one here is I have another research article, Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, Coronavirus as an Emerging and Re-emerging Infection. The date on this out of Clinical Microbiology Reviews is 2007. People, this is not new. Have to know that. I mentioned also to you about the head of the World Health Organization yesterday praising China. Huge concern there. I don't think that China should be praised in this situation. Now look, what we know for a fact is that there's stories out there, there's research papers out there on Chinese wet markets, right? They sell animals there to consume. We know that this COVID-19 originally maybe started in an animal that we thought was only going to be animal-to-animal transmission. Then all of a sudden it made a jump from animal to human, and then that's where things went haywire. Well, 2 miles from Wuhan's wet markets are biolabs, bioengineering labs, where they house some of the worst viruses on the planet. And possibly what's been speculated is that the biolab, either accidentally or on purpose, someone from that biolab where they've done research on coronavirus, COVID-19, which is what it's called right now. They've done research on the virus and transmission of it. Somehow that virus got out of there, either accidentally or on purpose, ended up in the wet markets, and then from there has spread across the globe. Now, whether, again, accidentally or on purpose, I have no idea. It's way above my pay grade, but what that's leading us to right now is giving up civil liberties. It's giving up, we're functioning in a state of fear, panic, and hysteria, and you never, ever, ever can make a good decision with fear, panic, and hysteria at the basis of your decision making. So I just want to go through, and I just want to have a little bit of a reality check this morning. Our country here right now, this picture, you may have seen this, okay? So we've got this, supposedly average American. He's got a beer in one hand, a burger, some fries, a big gulp in another hand, right? And it says coronavirus at the top of his head, and he's freaking out because of coronavirus. But yet every year in this country, we have deaths from obesity, 300,000 per year. Now that's climbing, and it's supposed to grow to probably 30 to 50% of our population around the globe by the year 2030, with overweight and obesity significantly rising. We know that overweight and obesity contributes to diabetes, it contributes to heart disease, contributes to cancers, contributes to a host of other health issues. Oh, and by the way, those health issues will also compromise our immune system, making us more susceptible to any infection, not just coronavirus or COVID-19. Next stat up here, tobacco deaths, 450,000 deaths per year. 450,000 deaths per year. And then alcohol, 88,000 deaths per year. Now look, I'm not making light of the deaths that are resulting from this current pandemic, this current tragedy, but I'm just trying to put things in perspective for us here. Right? Are we going to a new world where after this pandemic passes that we're going to post these statistics here on every news station and every day? I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it'll make people wake up and make better lifestyle choices. You see, this crisis right now, this is a wake-up call for America. This wake-up call is a call for you to improve your health and your quality of life. You see, because those people who are most susceptible to this illness, to this disease, to this virus, are the ones who are compromised, who are the ones who weren't healthy enough going into this situation. See, that choice is yours. It's a choice with how you live, how you choose to fuel your body every day, how you choose to move your body every day with your fitness levels, and how you choose to think, what you let into your ears and your eyes every day. Those things largely determine how healthy your body is and how it's going to function on the inside. Now remember, we've been talking about that our body is designed to be healthy. It's smart. It's in tune with our environment. It can adapt in a timely manner. There's an innate, God-given, inborn intelligence that's inside our bodies that continuously provides to our cells, tissues, and organs all of the information that they need to function at 100% capacity for a lifetime. That intelligence is headquartered in our brain. It flows freely over our spinal cord and nerves, steering those cells to life. And that delicate spinal cord and nervous system is protected by our suit of armor, the 24 bones in our spine. You see, but what happens is, in our modern world, our modern life is unnaturally stressful, and we know that stress, whether it's physical, emotional, or chemical, leads to a condition called subluxation. It's a misalignment in the spine that puts pressure on those nerves and causes an interference, a miscommunication of that innate intelligence from our brain to the cells, tissues, and organs, leading our body to go into a state of dis-ease, dis-ease, or disharmony, and eventually disease. Our bodies become weak. They age prematurely. You see, but there's an answer to that. That subluxation, that compromised communication, can only be assessed, addressed, corrected by your chiropractor. Every person on the planet should be getting checked by a chiropractor over their lifetime. Pre-pandemic, that message hasn't changed. It's never changed for us. Every child being brought into this world should be checked by a chiropractor within 24 hours of being born and regularly throughout your life for proactive care for your spine and your nervous system, for a healthy lifestyle, not for crisis-oriented care, not only seeing the doctor when you've got a neck pain or a headache or a lower back pain, like we use medicine. You see, we've used medicine in such a way that it's crisis care. It's not health care anymore. We're paying very heavy prices for that. Our economy, our healthcare system, the dollars that we spend are the most per capita than any place else on the globe, and we do not have the best overall health to show for that. That's a huge concern. Huge concern. What we're doing is not working. By throwing more money at it, we're fueling that fire, and we're getting the same results. Those statistics keep growing, those numbers keep climbing, and we just put our head down and we keep going forward, accepting what's been told to us, accepting the sleight of hand, and being wowed and in awe by the magic tricks that come swooping in to save the day. The next miracle vaccine. Look, people, even the flu vaccine is on a good year is only 30 to 40% effective. And you're expecting within just a short time for them to come up with this new vaccine for coronavirus, have it be successful, not harmful to your body, without any side effects. That's incorrect thinking. It's not going to happen. Your faith and your hope needs to be in your self-care. How you eat, how you move, how you think, how you live. And then save that crisis care for the times when it's really in need. Okay, but the people who are freaking out the most right now are the ones who are immunocompromised. Now I know, if I'm healthy, but yet my parents or grandparents are compromised, yeah, you know what? We have to be smart. We don't want to go sharing things with them. But that should be the case all the time, not just right now. So all of a sudden we've had this epiphany, this aha moment about, staying, sanitized and clean and not spreading germs to a compromised immune system. But listen, what's really important to understand is that these viruses and bacteria, they're around all the time. They'll be around forever. They're going to be around long after we're gone. We want to strengthen the host, not continually attack the disease. It's not fruitful. So, my last couple slides here as I finish up, you see on the screen it's black and white. I'm usually a black and white kind of guy. There's right and wrong, there's good and evil. Now, unfortunately, what we're seeing right now in the midst of all this is that there's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of sensationalization that's going on in the news and the media of the numbers. When we have more people who are recovering, the death rate is not as high as what they've predicted. Fauci has said this. Others have said it. The numbers are out there, the real numbers. So there's a new narrative that's starting to play, but the mainstream media doesn't want to pick up on that. Now look, I know we've been hit hard in some areas, and I know that people are dying as a result of the disease, but we've got to put it in perspective. We cannot continue to give up our civil liberties for the sake of this. New Zealand potentially locking down to 2021. Are we going to be next? I don't think so. See, as Americans, in America and as Americans, in the face of adversity and challenge, the best of us comes out. The best of humanity comes out. We rise up, we face our problems. We live a life uncompromised and a life without fear. Let's not stay fearful right now. Let's put our best foot forward, continue to put our best foot forward. At home with our families, homeschooling, praying and discussing our days around the dinner table, having a nice walk together, getting back to the really good quality things that we've gotten away from because of our busy lives. Listen, people, the choice is ours. How we face this crisis, how we face this situation will determine what things look like when we come out of it. You can come out of this healthier in mind, body, and spirit than what you went into it. And that's my hope and prayer for you today. So today's Thursday. I will be back tomorrow, and I'm going to continue this every day, putting out these messages for you. I will be back in the office on Monday, April 6th. I hope to see you. For now, Dr. Gary, over and out. Have a blessed day.